Ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Welcome back to Launching Us. This is a podcast where we talk about us becoming small business owners, and along the way, we interview some amazing people like our guest, Angela. We are so happy to have you. We've been trying to get you on the podcast for a while now, but our schedules has never met up. And then you agreed to work with me on a production day here in the studio, and you absolutely killed it. And I was like, okay, we definitely got to get her in the podcast. Like to talking to you, your backstory, the terrible accident that happened to you, like everything that went on, I was like, this girl has to be on the podcast. And I feel bad because I told your assistant, I was like, we need to get both of y'all. And then like after processing, I was like, no, I just want her. Like, no offense. I think you're amazing. I really do. And I would love to like have that duo, but I was like, I want to focus just on you. So tell us a little about yourself. Tell us what you do, because I did not say what you do at all in the intro. So,
Well, obviously, my name's Angela. I am a professional hairstylist and makeup artist. Been doing it for 13 years now. Based in Galveston Island, and I am so grateful to be located here because most of the artists I know are slow in February, and we are going strong with Mardi Gras right now. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it truly is. I'm so blessed. Like I keep reminding myself, like kind of pinch myself, going from a completely saturated market in Houston, you can throw a penny and hit a makeup artist. To come in here, and there was a real lack. I mean, there's still a lack of beauty professionals on the island. Yeah. So it was huge. That's really what changed the game for me.
Wow. And I think Galveston's unique in the sense that there's always something going on.
Always, and there's a parade for everything. Our fence is lined with beads right now. It's really
cool. We have Mardi Gras that happens. We have Dickens on the Strands that happen. Biker Weekend that happens.
Baccarat, yeah. It's just ongoing.
The chili festivals. I mean, the children's festivals that go on. Like, there's just a lot.
There's a new steampunk festival they just added.
Oh, really?
Too. Yes. So we're gonna have a steampunk festival. I'll be getting
some
calls
for that.
Yes,
too, so.
It is. I get calls for that all the time, especially around Dickens. So I think the Dickens crowd is really excited because they get a second festival to dress up for.
Yeah.
I know we went to Kroger's on the seawall. I think it was me and a friend of mine, and we went somewhere, and we started walking, and I just saw these kids really dressed up, like in weird clothes. And I was like, oh, is it Anicon? They're like, oh yeah, Anicon's going on right now. And I was like, yeah, that describes the way you're dressed. Because other than that, I have no idea why you're dressed that way. But because I've been around for a while, like I've seen Anicon, and I see a lot of people that go there, they go all out.
They do.
And so it's pretty crazy the amount of stuff that happened on Galveston Island.
Yeah, that convention center is always hopping. And then not only with the Anicon, the Comic-Con, they always have, we've got fitness competitions. So your bikini models, your fitness athletes.
Yeah.
We have cheerleading competitions, gymnastic competitions. We've got, A&M and UTMB there. So all of their athletes, there's a lot.
We were just talking about it with somebody, I forgot what episode of that, but like Galveston's really unique that it has two big universities, it has a really big college, it has another college that's like 15 minutes away. Like there's a lot. And then you got the two high schools. Like there's a lot that's in this small town.
Yeah.
That just is so much opportunity for freelancers, for a lot of different businesses to really kind of get started. And I think it's a very unique city. It's one of the reasons I wish we still lived on the island. But I like to call Lamarck North Galveston. So for anyone that lives in Lamarck, I'm sorry, but I prefer Galveston. I love the property and I love the house I have here. If I can just take this and find a good property in Galveston, I'd be golden.
Right.
Like be a happy camper for sure. But tell us what got you into makeup artists. Like what got you into that? Like I know it's not something that everyone wakes up to be like, I'm gonna be a makeup artist.
No, it's not. My mom was not, still isn't, like a big girly girl, doesn't do a lot of makeup herself. I mean, she did, growing up on the weekends. First, we were in Richmond, Rosenberg area, moved to Needville after that, but they opened First Colony Mall, Sugarland. So on the weekends, we'd go to First Colony Mall. Sephora became a thing, and then, they opened one up in Rosenberg at the J.C. Penney. So every weekend, you know, she'd take me to Sephora, buy me skincare stuff. And I crack up. I was like, I used to really do all kinds of skincare stuff. But, you know, you just buy the latest cool new things, and the sales lady would sell you the stuff. But what really took a turning point, well, not really a turning point, doing all of that, I raced dirt bikes. I was a huge tomboy, but a lot of injuries with that. I actually turned pro at 16.
Whoa!
I was pretty much number one in the state of Texas. Raced at Loretta Lynn's Ranch in Tennessee every year, every August.
That's crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'd been in magazines. Actually, I brought a few things.
Yes, please show me.
I brought a few things.
If we can find a clip, I'll put it up. But if not,
I mean,
YouTube wasn't a thing then.
Yeah, YouTube wasn't a thing then. No, I don't have videos. We didn't have social media. I actually only had these at the top of a stack because my dad just passed away, and I got some boxes of
That's the only camera
things.
that's close enough that I can get.
Yeah. So these, I used to go to Walmart and pick up these magazines and see if I made the magazine that month or something
That is
like that.
cool.
Like little things.
So did your mom like photocopy these, or did you?
My
do
dad
that?
did.
Oh, really?
I can't believe the stuff
Wow,
he
look at
saved.
that, that's huge.
So, you know, going through these boxes, I was like, no
Whoa,
way. He
that
saved
is
all this
so
stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. This was my first pro race. But
So that competitive nature in you was just.
Oh, I was an adrenaline junkie. We tried T-ball, we tried Girl Scouts, we tried all kinds of things. No, I wanted to ride dirt bikes. That was my stepdad.
Yeah, we're not gonna have you hang out with my daughter.
No. Yeah, my dad took me to Rio Bravo one day, and that used to be where the old they had outdoor motocross nationals there. And his buddies he went to high school with rode for Kawasaki Team Green, and so he took me to the track one day. I wanted a dirt bike.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I started late. That was like at 11, and then turned pro at 16.
Wow.
Very short-lived. A lot of head injuries.
How many covers did you been on? Have you been on?
These are no covers. I'm just in the magazines. I wish I had a cover. I had one full page photo.
That's crazy though.
Yeah, but
I'll have to like do a like B-roll clip so people can see these because this is pretty nuts. Like I know there's one where you actually see your I can see your face in the helmet, but because it's black and white, it's like I know it's her because I know, but like
yeah,
if you just showed me randomly, I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
that is so cool.
So that was my first love, and it's quite hilarious that I do hair and makeup now. If you knew,
none of those girls wore hair and makeup.
Well, some of them did, just not me. Dresses were not in my closet.
What else? Like I think when I think about this, I always think about being the guys being on motocross, and then all the girls trying to be biker girls.
Yeah,
like, I don't think of the girls actually in the helmets and all this stuff. I know it's a thing. I'm not macho. Like I know it's a thing. I'm just saying like you don't automatically associate those two things together. Like my son and I, we just went to the Monster Jam. I did not enjoy it. I'm sorry.
No.
People. No.
It's great people watching though.
Yeah, it is great people watching. I love people watching. But we were like I think we did the racing and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then they're like, all right, now we're going freestyle. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Okay, it's about the same thing. Over and over again. And then they go, all right, now it's skills. And I was like, that's the same thing they just did in freestyle. Like, I was not entertained at a certain point, and my son lost interest way more than I did. But what made it cool, and the whole reason I brought this up, not to bash on them, is that there was two, like, women drivers.
Okay.
And, dude, her truck was, like, balls to the walls. Like, wheels came off on one. She went on another one, and then, like, her mechanic was a female. And I was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like, because you don't see that that much. And so for them to do it, and obviously there was a couple guys, it's because she's a woman driver. And I was like, no, the guy just broke his car too. Like, and he was trying to be funny. I get it. But it was just like, I don't think it's funny. And my wife have taught me pretty much well. I have a strong mom. It's just, that's a cheap joke.
And it is.
And so, like, for me, I was just like, I was really, like, excited to see that. And I was like, kept saying, look at her. And he was like, oh, yeah. And then he was just like, went back to his phone. And so, like, but yeah, you just don't put those two together sometimes. So, like, seeing you do that, I can't see that because
I bet that taught you a lot of, like, that, like, work ethic. Because going from coming late into that type of sport and as an 11-year-old, and then to hit number 1 in Texas by 16, that talks to your willpower to get things done.
Yeah, actually, I showed you this was my first pro race. That was the Lake Whitney Spring Nationals. The November before that, the head of the WMA was asking my parents, is she going to turn pro tomorrow? Because we were at the WMA World Cup, and I was winning all of the amateur races. And,
wow.
And that was
How
also...
fast was your bike?
I was on a stock 125cc. Okay. My stepdad was real big about, I'm not going to modify your bike until you use all of that power. Wow. So, and I was up against, girls on factory bikes that were modded out, and they were riding 4-strokes. I loved that 2-stroke. I never should have gone to a 4-stroke.
Really? Does that mess you up?
I'm tiny. I'm 5'2". I'm,
so
140 pounds soaking wet. And and you've got that, weight to power ratio. I raced with Ashley Feilich. She was even smaller than I was, and she was also deaf, which was even cooler because, we had all the sounds. You could hear your engine. Yeah. She had to feel her engine.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Part of my intimidating tactic was if you were in my way and you were in the lines, I couldn't get around you. Not only was I revving the bike, I was screaming at the top of my lungs for you to get out of my way. So if you're on the side of the track, unfazed, I had no tactics with her. And my stepdad would always joke. He's like, so what are you going to do? You're going to pull up to her and be like... but her parents were awesome. They were from Florida, but yeah, they...
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, she rode and went on to ride for, Red Bull, and I think she started doing like stunts and stuff at Universal.
Cool.
What is that? Yeah. I forgot what the hand sign language is called. There's an abbreviation for it. ASNL or whatever it is. But I've noticed, like, watching a few movies and different shows, like even the Super Bowl this Sunday, like, they're there. And there's so much more spotlight coming onto them, and I just love it. We watched Coda not that long ago, and I freaking love that movie.
Yeah,
like all the awards that they won, I was like, I get it. Like, it's such a great movie. The dad that played, he actually did the sign language during the national anthem, and I was just like, dude, these people are getting it. And then, like, we've been watching Last of Us, and the episode this past week had a guy that. He was a mute or deaf, not mute. He was deaf, and he did sign language, and it was just a really cool. Like, they are getting so much spotlight.
And a lot of inclusivity.
Well deserved.
Well deserved.
I actually like kind of watching the sign language interpreters for the rap artists more than I like the rappers. Dude, they get it, man. And the girl that was doing Rihanna for Super Bowl.
Yeah.
She was fantastic.
Yeah. So what was the transition?
Big detour, but yes.
So what was the transition from this to makeup and hair?
So a lot of head injuries through this. So I, appeased the parents. Hey, we're gonna hang this up. It's really expensive. And I tried the, junior college thing. That wasn't quite working out. I was still involved in the sport. And then I got in a bad car accident, and that put me in the hospital for a month. I broke my pelvis in 3 places. Broke my jaw in 3 places. Of course, they were watching the head, doing multiple surgeries. They took my spleen, my appendix out. I had 2 blood transfusions.
Wow.
Dr. Red Duke was my trauma surgeon.
Wow.
So through that, obviously I wasn't showing up to classes. I got suspended from school on academic probation, whatever that is.
Yeah.
That screwed up my financial aid. We didn't get that taken care of. I had to prove that I was in the hospital.
Yeah.
And so that didn't get taken care of. Yeah, I can literally lift my shirt and show you my scars, but cool, I got to prove this. Like, my jaw's wired shut, but I got to prove this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a concept.
So, the next semester, we didn't get it taken care of in time, and I had a friend that I rode dirt bikes with that was actually going to the Aveo Institute in the Woodlands, cosmetology school, and regrettably now I should have just gone to junior college for my cosmetology degree, because it was a ripoff.
Yeah.
Cosmetology school is kind of a joke. It really is, but you got to do it. You got to it's just your rite of passage to get your license. You know, you learn everything on the field. But yeah, so I'd always dyed my hair. Like I said, my mom she would take me to Sephora. We'd go to the salon together. And I'd go to her hairstylist and, you know, just local small town stylist. But I'd always want these crazy things. I got suspended from school for my hair. It wasn't anything crazy. It fit the guidelines. There was a mom. Her daughter also rode dirt bikes, and she used to be number one in the area. And then I came on the scene.
So a little despite.
It was a lot of spite. I didn't even have her for a teacher, but she monitored my hall, and she was the reason why I was in the principal's office. It was it was before it was popular. I really think Miley Cyrus has been trying to copy my style forever. She keeps. I'm like, I keep looking. I'm like, I had that hairstyle. I love you, Miley. But no, it was like white, platinum blonde, and it was black underneath. It was before Avril did it too.
Yeah. She
you
must
know,
have saw you race too.
Oh yeah. What's up with this girl? You know, so like, teacher Miss McFarland. I'm gonna call you out. No, it's all on the internet, on the group forums. It's already out there.
As soon as the internet broke out, okay, I'm blogging about you.
No, actually, my mom pulled me out of school and homeschooled me after that.
Wow.
We were over it.
Yeah.
Small town with Needville, you know.
Yeah.
If you weren't born and raised there, they didn't accept you, and just that kind of thing. It is what it is. So yeah, But
so it was like kind of just you fell into it.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, so then car accident, cosmetology school. Did not know if it was actually going to work out. About halfway through, it clicked. I was good. I was making, you know, whatever teams they were doing. I graduated early. Actually had to skip some days so that they could actually get their financial aid because I was going to graduate too soon.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I got picked up by one of the instructors to go. I got picked up. I got duped. I got baited. And so, you know, I did my apprenticeship under one of the instructors, the guest instructors at the institute, and worked there for a little bit. Didn't work out there. And then I moved to a salon. You know, worked there for about 3 years in downtown Houston. It was a rockabilly salon.
Nice.
So I got to learn all that retro.
Pompadours.
Yes, and that's how, you know, that first salon, nobody wanted to do updos. So
Wow. I'll do all.
Give them all to me. So that started my love of, cosmetology did. Started my love of updos. You know,
for like weddings and for like
prom.
Formal?
I was getting a lot of, you know, prom
Ooh,
formal. I was up on 1960, you know, by 249-ish. So that area, and then moved to Houston, got into the rockabilly scene, and learned the art of vintage hair styling, which is that's not taught in the school. That's an art on its own, and that really set me apart. But we had a barbershop next door. They don't teach you men's haircuts in cosmetology school. So I would teach the guys how to do long guys haircuts, and they teach me how to do barber cuts and all of that. So learned that.
Wow.
Fast forward, and you know, I was able to take that to LA and get a job at Floyd's 99 Barbershop. Break commission the first week. They had so much business. It was fantastic.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was.
So what brought you to Galveston and starting your own business?
Surfing. Which I don't ever get to do anymore. Yeah. So obviously I quit racing, and you know, the salons were really toxic, so I didn't have the love and the passion that I do now. I didn't have it then. It was still kind of a job. I loved to do hair, but everywhere I went, you know, I was young, so I was still going out, going to the bar. Everywhere I went, oh, what would you do to my hair? Oh, what you want to cut my hair? Or in every family event, oh, you have your scissors? You want to cut my hair? Can you do that? it kind of made me hate my job.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
You know, I stopped doing it for a little bit when before I went to California. I went to the Outer Banks for a little bit, moved out there for a guy. Didn't work out. It's cool. It was a fun experience, man. You know, I lived on the Outer Banks. Now we got a TV show about it. Like, you know, it's like, it's cool. I did it before it was cool.
There you go.
Nobody knew about it then.
No.
It's funny how many people, especially females, are like, yeah, I did it for a guy, and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
yeah, instead of moving.
I can't relate to that.
Yeah.
I can't wait for some guy to come on and be like, I did it for a girl.
Yes, right?
'Cause I haven't heard that yet.
Any guys that want to come on the podcast, if that's your story, let me know.
Oh,
We'll
yes,
invite you
come
guys
on. Let's even the score here.
Or if there's any guys that did do it, comment below, because I keep forgetting this is on YouTube and you can comment. But let me know, guys, because I did it.
So one of the things I know we really wanted to talk about here tonight was definitely you scaling your business, because you've done such a wonderful job in such a short period of time. And especially here in the Galveston area. I love how we were talking about like how there isn't a lot of hair and makeup stylists who are honestly at your caliber in Galveston and in this area, in this general area.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to me. How did you go about scaling? And what is your leadership tactic with your team?
So the wedding stuff, when I moved back from California, just kind of fell into my lap, and I got picked up by another artist who had me help her and kind of work under her. And I kind of was like, okay, this is cool. I see what you're doing, how you are able to support yourself, and how you have these people working under you. This is my goal. A couple years later, I'm there, and I know obviously no longer work for her. I have girls, and now I've got 2 independent contractors that help me out. But what I think kind of sets me apart is I don't just send anyone out to these jobs. I don't just have anyone on my team. The one girl I have has been with me for about 5 years, and she's fantastic, and I've gotten to watch her grow. She's gotten to watch me grow. Yeah. And we were mentioning earlier before we started the show, it's quality over quantity.
Yeah, 100%.
And now I've got Carol Ann added as my assistant, and she's fresh out of cosmetology school, just moved here, which has been amazing, because it's kind of hard to also add people to the team that are good and up to the caliber I need. They don't want to work for other people. They're also trying to grow their business too.
Yeah.
But I guess what helps me is Bianca doesn't advertise her business like I do. She does more so word of mouth. She's not on Google. She doesn't have the website. So when she works for me, she doesn't have to do the back and forth. She doesn't have a year of correspondence with the bride. Yeah. She literally shows up, does the job, gets the money, takes the tip, and is like, cool, thanks. I really appreciate you. Thanks.
Yeah.
And some days, I miss doing that for other people. But then again, I give my bride so much information, and everything's scaled, and my girls work for me because they know I'm organized. Nothing's going to hit the fan. When I do that for other people, now I'm like, well, they have this. They're showing up with wet hair. They're late. I've got the wrong address. What am I doing here? Yeah. I don't even know their last name.
Yeah.
That's something that, like, I know me and John, you met him the last time you were for production. We FaceTime every Monday as a big Zoom team. And one of the things that he talks about is, like, you're more than just a videographer. Like, he does, like, it's kind of a coaching, but it's also just a friendship. Yeah. And so he tells us all the time, and you be more than just that. Like, just don't be the guy that shows with the camera, hit record, say, all right, guys, bye. Like, be the person that goes the extra mile on the setup, do Zoom calls, do all that stuff, go above and beyond. And I think because just the person I am, I'm already kind of like that. And so it was very easy for me to add that into my workflow. But I find it so funny that, like, a lot of people jump into the freelance type of world and they just try to be the in and out type of person.
Yes.
Like, oh, I got you booked. Cool. No information sent. Nothing extra. No, hey, let's have a phone call to see what's going on. Are we a right match or anything? Like, none of that. It's just get the check and then hope everything works out on the day of, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, I've noticed that you do the same thing. Like, you text me, you did a Zoom call with Allie and Jonathan. Like, you did a big thing with them. Like, you did a lot of the prep work. And so, like, when people ask me, like, hey, man, how much you charge? I always tell people, charge me what your rate is, because I know there's a lot of extra work that goes behind what you do. Yeah. Materials, everything. Like, you're talking, my wife thought sponges, and it went over my head earlier. But I mean, I guess it's the correlation to make razor blades. You don't, never mind. But there's a lot of like stuff that goes beyond just showing up on the day of and doing the work.
Someone's makeup.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of separates us. Hopefully our clients see that, and that's what the value is on what we charge. But there's a lot of that goes behind the scenes on what we do to make your wedding day special, or to make your whatever you're doing.
And I think that one of the things that need to be said is that this is our business. This is our livelihood. This is what we do to pay our bills. But a little bit further than that, this is our passion, and our passion is to help people and have that special, beautiful day that you've always imagined. And when you're paying our rates, which are reasonable, you're paying for good quality, great quality work.
You're paying for what we do. Like, I know the last production that we did, which she did amazing. Your sister is really good. She was helping us out, and there wasn't a lot of makeup, but she helped out making sure the guys weren't like oily, the girls' hairs were okay, and they all said, like, I feel like a movie star. Like, just having someone come in and help out with that, they'd like, I feel like a movie star. And I was like, yeah, that's the idea. That's the goal. But she did so good on like jumping in, and I could tell it's just because of the training with you and like whatever like conversation you had before she came. Like, she killed it. And so like, I think people think about like those things as like, oh, it's so insignificant, I just do whatever I want. But it's like, there's a lot that goes behind this, and what we do is for that.
Yeah.
Our job is to make sure. I watch so many YouTube videos, so many training videos. I download so many different things just to get better at my craft.
Yes.
Like, that's why people ask me all the time, what camera should I get? And I'm like, well, that's a kind of a loaded question. Like, I would imagine you get the same question. What kind of makeup should I use?
You're literally before the episode. So here's a question. Other than being very organized, what is some other things that you do to lead your team?
I kind of feel like I'm just an open book for them. Like, if you have questions, please come to me. Like, there's no dumb questions. Also, too, I let them know, hey, this is all in my contract. If there's ever a situation where we're uncomfortable, the client's making you uncomfortable, they're doing something, whatever it is in my contract that we can leave. No questions asked. We've had...
Wow. So it's a safe space.
It's a safe space.
Yeah.
And, you know, I also carry insurance for the business. So, you know, there's a lot of times where people want to bring their own makeup. And the issue with that is not only is it expired? Is it contaminated? How long have you had this makeup? Not everyone knows how to match their skin tone correctly. And we see that a lot. So the makeup they're bringing us to use on them, we're like, well, this doesn't match your skin. So, you know, this is my name on this work, and I don't want to use this makeup that doesn't match you.
I mean, these are going to be in photos. These are going to be in videos.
Exactly.
It's going to be on their albums or on their walls.
Not only that, but we make it a habit of stocking HD quality photo ready makeup.
Yeah.
You know, this stuff is made for the camera.
Yeah.
It's not your over the counter drugstore products.
Yeah.
And it's not cheap either. So that's one thing. And then I'm a doomsdayer. I'm an over prepper. So like I always have an emergency kit, and it's always, you know, I check in with my girls. Hey, do y'all need anything for tomorrow?
Yeah.
If they need beauty blenders, you know, Amazon was late, something like that. I will do whatever I can to make sure that you have everything you need to get the job done for me, because it's my name.
Yeah.
And I've got to, it all falls on me.
Yeah.
So they know, like, I forgot my brushes at somewhere. That's cool. I'll grab some extra brushes for you. Like, no big deal. I totally get it. Stuff happens. You did something else last night. You're literally saving me, helping me with this wedding. Yeah. So whatever I can do to make their job easier, I do it.
What would be one tool that you would say that you have in your business that you would say this was very much worth it? It helped me scale. Anything like that?
You know what I'm going to say?
I know.
I knew she was hitting that too. I knew this is not sponsored by Honeybooks, but if Honeybooks wants to sponsor me, I'm cool with that too.
Sponsor us, because I want Honeybooks.
Well, only one of us has Honeybooks, and that's her. But
I've oh my God.
I knew she was. I was going to.
I have a referral code I can send you. No. Comment if you want a referral code, please. No.
For Honeybooks.
Honeybook has been a game changer for me because I want my clients to have the information, because I want the information up front, and because there's so many avenues for these clients to reach out to you. And I'm sure y'all get them. They text you, they email you, they message you on Facebook, and then
a friend will message me.
Right, and it's like, hey, I emailed you. Hey, I left you a voicemail. And it's like, which one do you want me to get back to? You know, so Honeybook, it allows me to not only funnel all my traffic to the website, which I pay for, it literally keeps everything in one place. Their contracts, our correspondence, their photos, everything's right there. If I have any scheduled sessions, I can log the time I spend on them, because that's another thing too. These brides don't realize, and clients, even just general makeup inquiries, don't understand how much time we log on them. So I feel like I'm over here like an attorney, like I'm logging your hours. I'm logging that phone call. I'm sorry, but you know, and then, you know, for their previews, yes, it's only booked for a certain amount of time, but after that time, I'm sitting there with a face chart, drawing all your colors and what I did and making notes, so that come wedding day, I know exactly what I did. And if you give me any feedback about how it wore, if something wore off differently, I know exactly what I used and what I can change.
Yeah. I think that's real huge. Like, I know that's something that I started doing mid last year, is I started charging for that extra time.
Yes.
Zoom calls, FaceTimes, text messages, sending out documents, all this stuff. I started charging for that because someday when we expand, I want to hire someone to do all that stuff. Like, I already have the infrastructure of like, hey, this money now just goes to you. Like, it's time that as a business I'm using for you. And so I think that's a big game changer that people start doing. And I know people who don't do that till today. And I'm just like, why not? Like, that's your work. This is all part of your job. Like, the amount of time you spend like doing whatever the prep work is, the amount of time you spend on phone calls and contracts and services that you use like Honeybooks or Squarespace, like those things are.
Yeah, I like what we had a conversation with Josh last week. Jose last week, and he was like, there's a difference between there's a difference between you having to be there to make the money and it being automated. Like, you're making money in your sleep. When people are able to schedule and able to do all of these things without your assistance, you're scaling.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And I think that is the difference between where you guys are or where we are at this point in our business. Whereas like 5 years ago or 4 years ago, we weren't there. No. You know what I mean? And we weren't scaling and we weren't thinking like business people. Yeah. And I think that that's the difference. And I really love the idea of Honeybooks. What was something that you would say that you, other than the automation to pay, what are some tools that you use within Honeybooks or even not with Honeybooks that help you keep connected with your clients?
Well, the automations for my brides, I do 6 months worth of automated emails leading up to the wedding day. And so that's another thing too. You know, the earlier you book me for your bridal hair and makeup, the more value you get out of me. So these last minute brides, they don't get those 6 months worth of emails. And nine times out of 10,
So what are some of the emails topics that you would send them 6 months out?
I'm sending them basically timelined out when you should be getting your final haircuts, when you should be getting waxed. If you want any laser treatments, you should be getting these at this time. Go ahead and pick out your final nail color at this time, things like that. Letting them know, like, hey, it's at this mark. Don't do any more facial waxing or anything like that at this point, because
blemishes and stuff.
Well, if you do wax above the eyebrows, it removes that little zealous hair, but it's like little peach fuzz hair, but it'll leave a bare strip from your makeup, your foundation. We can tell when you've been freshly waxed because it doesn't stick to the makeup. The makeup doesn't stick as well. It really does. It'll leave a bare patch, a strip. Wow. So like I tell them, if you're gonna get waxed like super close to the day, like don't do it above your eyebrows because it's gonna have that strip. And I've had a bride.
I'm learning something too.
Yeah. Wow. So when you're talking about 6 months out, you're talking about important quality information.
Yes.
That a bride or a prom, anybody really.
Anyone. Because your makeup is, it's only going to look as good as your skin looks. So if you don't take care of your skin, I'm not a magician. I can only do what I can do, and makeup doesn't hide texture. And that's one thing too. Any destination brides, especially in the summer, I am like, please wear your SPF, because if you get sunburnt and you're peeling, I can't hide that. I can't. There's nothing I can do. I
really feel bad for like when I shoot weddings and I see girls that are really, really white complected. And they've been out partying all weekend, and they are just burnt.
Yes. And
I feel so bad. I was like, you're going to look so red in every photo and every video clip. And she was like, I know, I just forgot. And I was like, it's okay. I think I made something up.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I made up now, but I made something up. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, yeah. And then I looked at the bride, and I was like, I do my best.
Yeah.
She was like, it's okay. I told her.
Yeah. I even, leading up to the wedding, it's also, I'm reminding them, hey, you need to start upping your water intake and, start lowering your alcohol intake, because it will dehydrate you. And I can tell if you're dehydrated, if it shows on your skin.
But I think that's the thing that separates you from your regular freelancer who does it as a hobby.
Yes.
You're actually taking these clients and giving them step-by-step things along the way that really does help them out. Like picking your fingernail polish. Like,
yes.
What girls are thinking about that for the wedding day at like 3 weeks, 4 weeks out? They're not thinking about it until like the week of, which honestly, you should not be thinking about these type of things on the week of.
No.
Like,
there's going to be crazy things hitting the fan.
Yeah, your only thing you have to worry about is like, okay, I got to be at least awake for my wedding day. Like, don't be too drunk or too crazy. Like, but you're going to have family come in, cousins, his family coming in. Like, you have all this stuff going on. Like, you don't want this stuff during the week of.
No.
And like, I'm planning a wedding right now with somebody, and she's just like, yeah, I kind of get real isolated, like when it comes to like big crowds. And I was like, ooh, I'm wondering how this is gonna work on the wedding day for you. She's like, yeah, so if I go hide out, just go look for me like in the room. And I was like, no.
You know what's funny is that I did that.
Yeah, you did that, but
nonetheless, I would go like for 30 minutes and hide in the room.
I don't blame you.
But see, I think that's what separates you.
That's the bathroom for me.
Yeah, but that's what separates people who do this as a profession, who do this as their livelihood. There's that extra details that you don't get from regular people, or regular people who are just jumping into this world, or people that do it for fun or as a hobby. I know my wife told, I think my sister-in-law this week, this ain't my side hustle, this is our business. And so like verbiage matters. So like if you're jumping into this as your side hustle, change it to be, hey, this is my business.
Yeah.
Like own that stuff. Like
verbiage matters, because you're not doing it. Even if you're working a full-time job and you're doing this in your evenings and on your weekends, you're still devoting time to it. And if you're expecting that this side hustle turn into a full-time business, then you need to start calling it a business now. You need to start treating
it like it. Yeah.
And you need to start treating it like, and I love that you've implemented tools that will just allow you to make money as you're sleeping, or
Yes.
you know, or growing your business, growing your team. Honestly, I love the fact that one of the things that you mentioned is that you're like a doomsdayer, or like you always have extra supplies. Like, I love how you think or to foresee any things that may happen.
I think I've got like abilities, you know. Man,
X-Men.
Mother's Day weekend last year when they shut down the Causeway, I had 2 weddings. My artist that was helping me for the second wedding, she couldn't make it, and the first wedding was at Moody Gardens, and we can see the Causeway. No, it was like just one car.
Why was it closed?
You don't remember that day?
The bridge was about to collapse. They had to do emergency repairs.
Yeah, it was a big thing.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't going to
Yeah.
handle the
Where
Mother's
was
Day
I?
traffic.
Well, we got down to the island early because of church.
Oh, that's
But
right.
we got down like really early, and then we hung out on the island. So like we didn't get to feel any of it.
No.
But everyone else was like, it was horrible.
If you weren't on the island, you weren't making it. If you weren't on the island by like 10 a.m., you weren't getting there.
Yeah, we get here by like 7:30 sometimes on Sundays. But like
Wow. So I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, so
you could just see her waiting on the bridge, or
no. I couldn't see how she didn't even
walking.
she didn't even get close, girl. No, it just I just kind of foresaw that happening and was like, this isn't going to go well. You know, I somehow the first wedding was fantastic. I finished early. I had given myself a cushion because doomsdayer.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like to book things back to back. Like, I need a cushion because if something goes wrong here, I've got a cushion, you know. So I called the bride and was like, hey, I finished early. You mind if I just come in right now? Just skipped my lunch break. Got there an hour early. I'm like, we don't have to start right away. Just let me set up. We'll get going.
Yeah.
She kind of understood that, yeah, this isn't looking good. Let's go ahead and get started. And I still got them already in time, even without the second artist. She even left me a 5-star review. I ran into them at Axcade one day after the grand opening. That was really cool.
Wow.
But, you know, it all worked out. But
I bet all her guests were on the bridge too, waiting.
Yeah, they ended up, you know, pushing the time back. Not because of me, you know, and of course I'm like, we're ready, we're good. Sorry, you know, like, no, it's not because of you. They were still, I don't think your grandma made it.
Yeah.
You know, they were still waiting for people.
I think there's always a few people that wait. Grandparents, fathers, and that's pretty much as much
mothers.
My mothers.
Mothers
and the bride.
Mothers is always there on times though.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever been to a wedding where the mother is not there. But
That's true.
dads sometimes are not there on time, and then grandparents. But other than those two, like, we're starting the wedding.
Yeah.
Like, but you know, come on, grandparents they take a precedence over this aunt.
Yeah.
Or a friend. But yeah, I think that's something that to me I think that's something that's extremely valuable. If you can scale up faster, or the sooner you do it, the better. I'm taking this course right now just to improve myself. And that's one of the things is if you can scale up and hire editors or send that stuff out to like India or people like that, like do that as soon as possible. If you can hire second shooters to do that, like do that as soon as you possibly can before it's too late. Because not, you're going to be so over with bookings and this scaling and that stuff. You're not going to have time to actually train that person and do it. So it's really cool that you done that as soon as you could.
I had to. It was, you know, how do you keep up with all of that? Yeah. And then the return on it was that I went from them, you know, printing out the contracts and scanning them to send it back to me and, you know, taking like weeks to get paid.
Now it's instantaneous.
It's
and they can schedule through your website and through HoneyBooks then, I'm assuming.
Yes. So my contact forms, everything is set up through my website. It goes to HoneyBook. I don't have links for you to just book. Mm-hmm. But I use the booking links through HoneyBook once I've talked to you. Okay, cool. You can schedule a session using this link. Mm-hmm. The only one that's public access is to schedule a consultation. Yeah. Just because I'm to the point now where not all money is good money, and not every client is my client, and I'm not everyone's makeup artist. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. I am happy to refer you to someone that might be better fit for you. Yeah. And I've had to turn brides away because, you know, they want me to change my contract. I'm sorry, I'm not going to change my policies for you. This is a major red flag for me. So
Yep.
here's somebody that might have better policies that, align with yours
Yep.
or,
Yeah. That makes sense because honestly, I love how you said that not every person is fit for your business.
Yeah.
And I completely agree. I was sharing with you earlier about a client that I had that I actually recently turned away, and I'm a fairly new agent, but I'm not new to doing properties and investing and stuff like that. So it was almost like insulting that he brought that up, and he was like, "Well, aren't you a new agent? Don't you need the money?" And I'm like, "No." I love how you said that. Not all money is good money,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's okay for you to say, I would rather refer you to someone who would be a better fit for you. Unfortunately, I'm not that fit. And so that you have a positive experience and I have a positive experience assisting you, I think that would be best.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing, like that people that get into the freelance type of world is if you can scale up fast enough and hire outsource people or bring in a contract. But also, like, if you can learn how to say no to certain clients from the very beginning, you would get over so many, headaches and, the frustration of, I need to take every opportunity I can. Like, if you can move past that by just raising your prices a little bit and being very strategic in the way you take new clients. Like, I think that's a huge thing. Like, I know I've done it now. I didn't do it in the past. I used to take anybody at any point. And if they were like, "Oh, I need this," I was like, "Oh, no worry about it. I'll knock off $500. Like, I need the work." And now I've had people where they just straight ghost me. I'm like, "All right, cool. You don't want to work with me? That's fine."
Yeah.
But I hear from other people, and because the community of videographers and photographers it's pretty good. Like, we network, we communicate a lot, and a lot of it's like, "Oh man, you should have been there. Like, this was really bad." And I was like, they had a chance to hire me. They didn't want to hire me. And then, because everything's public and people put stuff on Facebook or Instagram, I end up seeing it and I go, yeah, I'm sorry.
And I think we said this earlier. You're going to either pay one time for really great quality, a really great experience, or you're going to pay twice once for the really bad experience and then again for the good experience and the good quality.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to have messed up face on their wedding day.
That, I know. I'll show you guys the pictures, but geez, I'm pretty honest, guys. I'm sorry. But to me, I think you said you met that client months later or years later. They saw you and they recognized you and they were excited to see you, I was imagining, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's how you know you did a great job.
Lady.
I haven't shot a wedding yet where I didn't run into somebody, at least a guest, where they're not like, "Hey man," oh man, they're super excited.
Yeah.
And then they, man, one day I'm gonna hire you. They probably won't, but the point that they were able to recognize me right away and be excited to see me, that's how to me, those are things that show I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. This is the right way to do business.
Yeah.
It was also a huge eye opener that it was oh no, we can't get drunk in public anymore. People are seeing us. Oh no. I was okay, we've made it. We're now being known in the community. We had Mardi Gras this weekend. It was very tame, very PG-13.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had it in our calendar. We wanted to go Saturday. And I was like, yeah, it'd be a good day to go make content and things like that. And then I think 4:00 rolled around. I was like, nah, I don't feel like going anywhere.
I don't know what happened. Ghost Land Observatory was playing. They moved it to 6 p.m. It wasn't even dark yet.
Oh no.
It's a laser show.
Yeah.
I don't understand. They really dropped the ball on Mardi Gras this year, man. It was my first experience.
Well, at least the first weekend.
Well, next weekend should be better because it is the last weekend.
Work.
Oh
no, dude! We are fully booked for the San Luis Salute all day.
Nice. Oh wow!
All four of us.
That's wonderful.
The two girls are going to do a group of 9. And then I've got all the single and double appointments coming to the studio. And Carol's going to help me. We're going to order pizza, and it's going to be a marathon day.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome,
though.
Congratulations.
I'm really
that's
excited
amazing.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I feel like there was so much information that you gave us that was really good. And honestly, guys, if you're having a wedding or prom or any type of makeup need, contact her. She's amazing.
Please. Or, I mean, even if you're just an aspiring hair and makeup artist and, you're not sure on how to build your kit, things like that, what classes to take, where to get your education because you want to get your continuing education.
Yeah.
I'm constantly buying and updating and getting courses, and I love to share. Like, that's one of my favorite things. Like, it's sharing is caring. Like, you're not me. You don't have my hand. So all the knowledge in the world I could give you, you're still not going to do what I do.
Yeah.
And so it's cool. Like, take it all.
It's two different type of people. Like, 100%.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you one last question. I'm so sorry. I was almost.
We're almost in it, but don't click off the video yet, guys.
When we were talking earlier about platforms, what platforms are you on? Instagram, Facebook?
Instagram and Facebook. I'm not really on the TikTok.
You did mention though that you have a blog.
Yes, I blog on my website. Usually it's every Monday and Friday. Sometimes it'll be Thursday, but every Monday and Friday I'm doing about 2 blog posts a week, if not more. Just depends on what's going on, if I've got an extra topic to throw in. But it's going to be tips on how to get camera ready makeup, wedding tips, how to, questions to ask your hair and makeup artist before hiring them.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I've got posts like that. So even if you don't want to hire me, there's going to be some great tips out there to help you find the artist that's right for you.
That's huge.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Y'all
I'm
are
super
awesome.
excited to have you. I did not know half the things you told me. And there's still so much more about her. Guys, follow her. All the links will be down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and all the stuff that YouTube and everyone likes you to do. So have a good one. Peace out.